Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Gananaham Tva Ganapatigum Havamahe Kavim Kavinam Jeshtarajam Brahmanam Brahmanaspata Anas Prindvan Utibhistedasadanam Prano Devi Saraswati Vaje Bhirvajinivati Dhinama Vitrayavato Ganesaya Namaha Saraswatyai Namaha Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Sumukascha ekadantascha kapilo gajakarnakaha lambodharascha vikato vignarajo vinayakaha dhumaketur ganadhyakshaha palachandro gajananaha vakratundaha surpakarno erambaha skandapurvajaha Shuklam Baradharam Vishnum Sasivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasannavadanam Dhyayet Sarva Vigno Prashantaye Yasyat Viradavaktradhyaha Parishadhyaha Parasatam Vignam Nignanti Satatam Vishwakseram Tamasraye Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnuhu Gurur Devo Maheswaraha Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Manojavam Maruta Tulya Vegam Jitendriyam Buddhimatam Varishtham Vatat Madam Vanara Yuta Mukyam Shri Ramadutam Terasa Namami. Shri Rama Rama Rameti Rame Rame Manorame Sahasranama Tattulyam Rama Nama Varanane Shri Rama Rama Rameti Rame Rame Manorame Sahasranama Tattulyam Rama Nama Varanane Shri Rama Rama Rameti Rame Rame Manorame Sahasranama Tattulyam Rama Nama Varanane Shri Rama Nama Varanana Om Nama Iti Yatra Yatra Raghunatha Kirtanam Tatra Tatra Krita Mastakanjalim Bashpavari Paripurna Lochanam Marutim Namata Rakshasantakam. So, Viswamitra said, Rama, this is the place where Indra and Diti had this dialogue and this compromise. Here, Ikshvaku had a son called Vishala, and the kingdom is now called after him. Vishala's son was Hemachandra, and his son was Subhadra, and he had as a son Dhumrasva, and Dhumrasva's son was Sanjaya, and Sanjaya's son was Sahadeva. The Sahadeva was very rich and prosperous, very valiant ruler, and he had a son by the name Somadatta, who had Kakutsa as his son, and Kakutsa's son was Sumati, and Sumati is a very well respected, a man very upright, very virtuously, very pure and holy and sacred, and is equal to gods, equal to the Devas in his purity and virtuousness and in his spiritual discipline. And Rama, today, this day, we will enter this Visala city, and tomorrow, and we'll sleep there, and tomorrow we'll start for Janaka's place. So everybody was very happy. Rama, Lakshmana, and all the disciples of Viswamitra were all happy. In the meantime, the news that Viswamitra had come was communicated to Sumati, and immediately he rushed forward to welcome the sage with his retinue of ministers and scholars and priests and everybody praying, Swamis, we are so happy that you have blessed our city to come here. Then Viswamitra was very, very happy and very pleased with the humility and the reverence, the Vinayam, and that very important, and reverence of that Sumati was exhibiting. And then so he asked him very sweetly, how are you, how are your citizens, and all that. They were engaged in some conversation. As they were conversing, Sumati's eyes fell upon Rama and Lakshmana there, and so enchanting were they, and they with their charm and the dignity. And then he asked Viswamitra, Swami, who are these lion cubs? And then Swami Viswamitra replied, Sumati, that's a long story. I have no time to tell you now. I will tell you after we reach your place. Then he asked everybody to start, and Rama and Lakshmana also started, and then Viswamitra and Sumati were following them. And Sumati was all the while talking to Viswamitra about the problems and the challenges that were happening in the kingdom. Various, there's always administrative problems and people-related problems. So many things are there. He was discussing all that with Viswamitra, taking his guidance. And then as soon as they reached the city gate, my God, there's so many people, the musicians from different places, different voices started singing. Brahmins were reciting Vedic hymns, and then such a welcome sign, auspicious welcome sign. People were doing harati. And then all this the fabulous welcome, and then followed by the reception, and then followed by a feast. And then Viswamitra asked everyone to gather around. And then he started explaining to them about his Siddhashram and the yajna that he had undertaken. And then how, in a very heroic manner, Rama and Lakshmana stood guard for the yajna, and so that he could complete it and make sure the demons and the Rakshasas could not attack it, protected it against them. And when he was describing in detail the valor and the dedication and the commitment and the extraordinary achievement of Rama and Lakshmana in fighting Tatakai and Marisan and Subahu and all that, everybody was wonderstruck. Everybody's present. They all looked at Rama and Lakshmana, even though they were young boys. They looked at them and thought. So all the people present there, they were looking at these young, enchantingly beautiful, attractive boys, Rama and Lakshmana, and thought with all the valor and the courage and the might that they must be Nara-Narayana themselves. So they prostrated before them. Then it was getting very late, so Rama and Lakshmana fell at the feet of their guru. Viswamitra took his permission and retired for the night. And then morning they got up, and after performing their morning rituals, came to the guru, and then Viswamitra said, time for us to leave for Mithila. So they expressed their gratitude to King Sumati and then moved on to Mithila. Sumati accompanied them for some time and then took leave of them. And Viswamitra walked on along with his disciples and the princess. By noon, they reached an expansive park, beautiful park, very, very huge, very vast park. And it appeared as if there were lots of hermitages there once upon a time. But now everything has crumbled. And while one can also see the various altars once maintained, with devotion for puja things, spots where pujas were being performed, spots where yajna fires, the sacred fires were all once lit. So they saw all that. Rama noted all this and then saw that everything, how this place has been sanctified by yajnams and pujas and all that, and spoke to Viswamitra. Swami, he must be. Then he shared his thought with Viswamitra. And Viswamitra said, Rama, how correctly you have observed. I'm very, very happy. I will inform you now. I shall inform you why the great person, very great person was living here once and he was residing here. Then why he left it and he went away? I'll tell you that story. He continued. He said, Rama, even the Devas used to acclaim or sing the praise of this place. And this is the hermitage, the ashram of Gautama Maharishi. For many years, here Gautama Maharishi stayed here with his wife Ahalya, and undertaking severe penances, tapas, and many elaborate yajnas that he did. And because of all that, this park was resplendent, very beautiful, it was grandiose it was always, very bright and very peaceful and joyous it was. Every day was a holy day for people who were living here. Ahalya, the Gautama Maharishi's wife, was a person of phenomenal virtue, discipline, and also she was extremely pretty, very beautiful. There was no one who could be equal to her in the way she was charming and pretty and very beautiful she was. And so Gautama was naturally, because she was so pretty and beautiful, Gautama was always keeping an eye on her and guarding her with very vigilantly. One day, while Gautama was absent from the ashram, Indra came there in the disguise of Gautama. Now, the wife, the Pativrata, she took him to be her real Gautama, real husband, and served him very reverentially, very as she always does. But at that time, the real Gautama returned, and immediately he thought she was being faithless. Okay? He recognized Indra immediately, in spite of his disguise, and became terribly angry. And he said, shouted, "You evil-minded fellow," he shouted. Immediately Indra vanished. Then Gautama Maharishi turned on to Anusuya, to Ahalya, and said in his anger, "You have destroyed the hermitage by indulging, by undertaking this despicable act. I will not stay here anymore, not even a minute longer. I cannot tolerate the sight of seeing you. And you go behind some bush and just stay there, live on air with no food and drink." And then he turned away and was leaving. Ahalya wept and followed him and poured her heart out. And she said, "Swami, I did not know. I really thought it was you. It is my duty as your wife to serve you. That's all I did." And so when this thing happened like this, Gautama melted and he said, "Ahalya, you know, what I have spoken, the curse that I have given, I cannot take it back. But one thing I will do, you have to stay in the bushes. You have to be starving, yes. But until the day Rama, the son of Dasaratha, comes here, and he will come here and on seeing you, he will shower his grace on you and allow you to touch his feet. And then he will talk to you with so much love. And the darshan and sparshan and sambhashan of Bhagavan Sri Rama that you will have, that will cleanse everything. Then you will shine back in your real form the way you were. At that time, I will rejoin you." Gautama said this, immediately left the place, went to Himalayas to do his tapas. From that moment, Ahalya lost her name and form. She lives on air and is deeply lost in tapas and eager to rejoin her Lord. And this once beautiful and lovely park suffered the neglect. That is what happened, Rama, he said. That is why it looks like this. When Viswamitra was narrating like this, Rama immediately said, "What? Are you telling me that she is waiting for me? Oh my God, poor thing, she must be suffering. Now tell me where she is. If you can tell me that, and tell me where." And Rama started walking very fast. And Viswamitra and Lakshmana had to follow him. It's not as if Rama did not know. He knew exactly where she was. And then he passed through the bushes that were tangled and all that, and entered one hut and then went out of it and then went to another bush. At that time, the Ahalya, who had completely immersed itself in tapas and austerity, lost her name and lost her form, which means she became completely one with Bhagavan, right? The identity of I am this body, this mind, that was gone. She was absolutely then, at that stage, there was no requirement for food, there was no requirement for sleep. And because what had happened there, she had been standing still and without any movement. All the dust and everything started depositing on her, and she appeared like a rock. That's what it was. She did not turn into a rock, but she appeared like a rock, absolutely motionless. But when Rama started going towards her, very interestingly, the vibrations of his footsteps caused the disturbance to her. And then she recovered, kind of almost like woke up and came out. That's what happened. Immediately, she fell at the feet of Rama, touched the lotus feet, and would not want to leave it. And Rama blessed her so beautifully. And then Ahalya said, looking at Rama, she said, "Oh, Swami, I'm saved. Finally, I'm saved. Oh, Bhagavan himself has come." And so she praised him, praised Rama, like the way, Dhruva Stuti and Gajendra Stuti and all that. Ahalya praised Rama here uncontrollably. And then she got up absolutely effulgent and fresh. At that moment, Gautama also immediately came there, because they're all yogis. They knew exactly what was happening. And then he took Ahalya, purified by rigorous austerity and blessed by Rama. Both of them, husband and wife, fell at the feet of Bhagavan. And we cannot imagine the ananda that they experienced. And then Gautama paid his homage and respect and reverence to Viswamitra, and the disciples who were all present there, they were amazed at what they had just witnessed. And they just couldn't believe. They were looking at the two brothers in absolute wonderment. And then Viswamitra took leave of Gautama and walked on in the northeasterly direction with Rama and Lakshmana by his side. Now, towards the evening, they neared a city. And very from a distance itself, Viswamitra pointed to that place and said, "Rama, this is Mithila. You see the magnificent buildings, they're all assembled there, that is the city." At the moment the sage said this, Rama, Lakshmana, the disciples and other the rishis that are all present there, they became jumped with joy because they were very happy. Then from that moment they walked very fast. They could not wait to reach the final destination. Even though they were physically exhausted, they walked very fast. And then when they entered the city, wherever they turned, they saw people engaged in tapas, Brahmins reciting Veda mantrangal, and in just about every house there were homams were being performed, and under every tree almost, and sheltering under the shade of tree, there were groups of people have come there. They've come in bullock carts and horse-drawn carts and all that. They come to the city from the countryside. And old people, young people, men and women from all stages of life that are assembled there. They were all moving around in the city in the streams of joy. The city was packed with eager people because they had all come for this yajna that Janaka was going to perform. And so going through these crowded places, Viswamitra selected they reached one what we call in Tamil as kolam, tank, and they went to that place because you always need in the area where there's water available, and because the place was less crowded, and so then they said, okay, first let us do our evening rituals, and then we will decide where to stay. They were not sure where they were going to stay yet, but so they finished all the things, and then they're just walking back on the steps of the tank. Now, since the yajna has been announced and is being planned, what did King Janaka do? He selected a group of people, warriors and messengers and all that, and assigned them one job. He said, go around the city continuously looking for people, the sages and monks and rishis and everybody, they all will be coming to participate in this yajna. So go and look for them everywhere, all around. Find out, who they are, what their name is, which lineage they belong to, who their gurus are. and which hermitage or ashram they belong to. Find out all that and immediately come back and report to me directly without the slightest delay. So an army of people were moving around in this big city looking for any new rishis who have come and sages and all that, and so that immediately they can carry the message to King Janaka. That's the clearest order from him. So as Viswamitra and Rama and Lakshmana and the disciples, after finishing their evening rituals, taking the bath and doing the Sandhya Vandanam and all that, as they were climbing up the steps of the tank to come back on the top of the ground, and they come there, and then they were sitting on the banks of that tank, and Viswamitra was describing the greatness. He sat along with the disciples there, and Rama and Lakshmana started narrating, about Mithila a little bit. At that time, of course, the boys looked resplendent, just like stars that have fallen from the sky. At that time, one of these messengers, the group of people that King Janaka had sent, one of them approached them, and very politely inquired, "Swami, please tell me who you are." Approached Viswamitra. "Where have we come from? We are messengers from the king. We are only obeying orders that our king has given us. If you please tell us your name, we can inform the king of your arrival. He has asked us to find out." And of course, Viswamitra, then the messenger hurried back to Janaka and told them that sage Viswamitra has arrived. Immediately, King Janaka made arrangements to receive such an exalted sage. You must have appropriate arrangement. The reception has to be accorded. Immediately, what he did, he sent his own chief of Brahmins, Satananda, and on various priests and pandits of the court under the leader Satananda. He sent them to see where Viswamitra was, and this group of people immediately hurried to welcome this Viswamitra in person. And he will continue with Swami's grace on Wednesday, not tomorrow, not Tuesday, but Wednesday at the same time. Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Samastalokaha Sukhino Bhavantu. Samastalokaha Sukhino Bhavantu. Samastalokaha Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om.